So good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to this event, The New Day, organized by the Fed Data Society. My name is Anja Blij, and it's my pleasure to be your moderator for this exciting occasion. Today, we are gathered for a celebration. That is the graduation of the Fed Data Society's latest cohort, and to kind of recognize all the achievements, to talk about possible challenges, the opportunities in the field of data storage, the management, and any other technical advancements. So this event is itself a testament to the importance of Fed data practices, and it is going to be dedicated to those who strive to make it a reality. Now, we have an incredible lineup of speakers, so sit back, relax, and enjoy. Before we begin, it's important to kind of set the ground rules and to set the agenda. So first things first, we want to be as inclusive as possible and engaging. Thus, we invite you, the attendees, to actively participate and contribute to the discussion. We encourage you to post any questions, any comments, any thoughts that come to your mind to the Fed Data Society Discord channel. And there was a QR code shared with you prior. So if you scan that QR code, you're going to be directed directly to the Discord channel. You're also going to be very welcome to join us there for the after party. So after this event, there's going to be an after party in Discord, and you will be able to chit chat with the representatives from Luna DAO, from Swarm, from Fed Data Society, and others. As it goes for the Web3 community, there's plenty of all these different opinions, points of views, there's maxis, there's shillers, and other types of shenanigans. We do ask all the participants to engage in these discussions as respectfully as possible and have a constructive discussion. So this means refrain from any personal attacks, refrain from hate speech and other forms of harmful behavior, and keep in mind that nonviolent communication is key. We want to foster a welcoming environment and share as many possible perspectives. So what awaits you today? During this event, Fed Data Society will showcase the upgraded Fed Drive desktop app, and the guys from the team will demonstrate how it helps users take the first step towards a Web3 PC with privacy preserved, the censorship resistance, and free press tools. That sounds like a mouthful, but you'll see it's fun. After that, there's going to be Solarpunk movement representatives and Lunarpunk, Luna DAO representatives, who is going to share the views on why is it exactly important to have the digital privacy. There's also going to be Great Data Upload, which will introduce all the featuring projects like Wikipedia on Swarm, Ethereum OpenStreetMaps, and Braintree to talk about why exactly it matters, where and how the data, including all the most sensitive data, is being stored and accessed in today's world. Since the Fed Data Protocol is in its first iteration built on top of Swarm Network, you will be able to hear the latest update on the current state of the Swarm Network as well, and witness the release of the paper on storage incentives by no else but Victor Tron. And finally, we will host Gregor Zautzer, the Ethereum Foundation director, who will announce the Fed Data Society graduation and discuss the importance of all the ethical principles, the interoperability, and why Swarm is supporting the Fed Data Society. So why don't we start with you, Gregor? I hope you can join me on the stage. Cool.
Hello. Hi,
hey.
Anja.
So let me ask the first questions first. This event is titled The New Day, and I'm assuming that this is not just a reference to Nina Simone's song Feeling Good, or is it?
Well, you know, music is always a big part of our lives, but no, it's a couple of references. So today already, without this event, it's a special day. It marks the beginning of spring, so winter is behind us. Symbolically, it's also within Swarm, we are also usually having events on the summer solstice, drawing a bit of inspiration from ancient cultures. And today also is the equinox, and it's an important day in some of the cultures, marking actually their new year. So today, for example, it's a Persian New Year, and it felt really fitting to the occasion, because what's happening today has been long in the making. I was just today also checking the announcement that Swarm is joining Fair Data Society, that it was the first organization to join Fair Data Society, and it was almost 4 years ago. So it's been a journey, and definitely today is a new day. It's a new day, I would say, to continue working and walking towards fair and just and free society. So yeah.
That's pretty awesome. So going back to, what was it, 2019? Take us through what the Fair Data Society means for you or for everybody involved in the team, actually.
So it's been Fair Data Society, I think it was conceptualized actually at the DevCon conference in 2018. So, and it came out of recognizing the need in the Web3 space. There's many projects building protocols and basically many startups building all kinds of solutions where we try to set new paradigms alive. And at the same time, if we do want to make this social impact, if we want to create this social change, there are some things where we actually just need to collaborate together. So it's kind of the idea back then was started as this common ground where the tech meets the social, where we figure out actually what kind of future do we want to live in, and we basically build towards that. And these are the other way. Fair Data Society efforts have been ongoing throughout the years, not always in the spotlight, but definitely also informing other builders and also starting conversations on what are we actually building. Now, again, this new day today marks maybe also an opportunity where these activities will also start to become more visible, and hopefully more projects, more builders, more activists will join and contribute. Here, it's also important to say it is it's an initiative. It's a decentralized effort, so it's also hard to say where exactly the path is going to lead. Depends on who joins and how active others become. Everything's open.
And is it because you just mentioned decentralized? Is that the reason why Swarm and Fair Data Society goes hand in hand, or is there any other reason why it's supported by Swarm?
So there's actually many reasons. It's for Fair Data Society, its primary goal is essentially to foster a fair data economy, promoting privacy, data sovereignty, interoperability, while also starting this dialogue around ethical guidelines. Now, why Swarm is supporting Fair Data Society? It's a whole spectrum. So in a way, also looking back at Swarm's history, Swarm was incubated within Ethereum Foundation. And Ethereum Foundation, in that sense, also enabled the space for some of the solutions to mature, for research to be done. When Swarm graduated in late 2019, we also felt it's important that we continue this cycle of virtue. So it's kind of also in this sense paid forward. Now, why Fair Data Society? Because at Swarm, we're not just about figuring out how things work and implementing a tech solution. We are building Swarm in order to achieve positive social impact. And here our goals become complementary, because with supporting Fair Data Society, we are addressing ethics from the start. We are thinking about what would be the desired direction, or how could we maybe sort of just point to a direction where the ecosystem can also develop, where the Swarm can be flying. In that sense, also, Swarm and Fair Data Society do have complementary roles. Swarm is a base layer solution. It's an infrastructure project. So in a way, also, when we look, at things like speaking about data interoperability on the Swarm's layer one, this is in a way, it's out of the scope, because this is data interoperability is something that developers on top of Swarm should be thinking about. And it's important that we promote this, because data interoperability is one example how we can prevent that same things will be built again on different infrastructures. So we do want to avoid walled gardens and silos. And data interoperability is the antidote and the requirement for data sovereignty. In that sense, it's also about building and developing what we internally also sometimes call fair data stack. So this complementary role, it's about how Swarm can extend into the environment. And in this regard, it's all about collaboration and innovation. Now, lastly, it's also with Swarm, we want to set a good example. So the questions, when we speak about privacy and data sovereignty and other fair data society principles, they stretch beyond Swarm. So privacy is not just something that's discussed within the Swarm ecosystem and environment. And today's event and this step is also a call to action to other projects to connect on this common platform where we can unite. We see it also from the legacy industries that it's good to be thinking about these things and like interoperability from the get-go than to patch it afterwards. And you know, why is this important? It's we discuss things like in the Web3 space, it's becoming quite fancy to speak about open metaverse or things like that. But even just if we go down, reduce it to Web3, whatever someone thinks about it in particular, there's no Web3 without decentralized storage. But what kind of world do we want to live in? And this is where Fair Data Society comes in to help us discover this.
So you previously mentioned the tools and how you're basing the Fair Data Society upon all these values and principles and the code. And every time you mention the code, I'm kind of, reminded of the fact that, for example, we were talking about the smart contracts at first, and there was a group of developers who was thinking about these are programs that execute the code. And then there was a group of lawyers that was thinking along the lines, oh, these are literally smart contracts, like the written contracts, the agreements that we have. So there was a lot of misunderstanding, and I just want to kind of clarify that as well. Are we talking about the code embedded with the Fair Data Society that is like a code of conduct? Or when you're referring to a toolkit, are you actually referring to some sort of a code that is, programming languages combined together?
It's a great question. I would say it really applies to everything in a sense. It's developers, we need to be aware of our responsibility. What kind of tools are we building? It's there's been, for example, we've seen all kinds of examples how also developers are by like circumstances put into the role of moral authority, and they cannot really address it. And same holds, I would say, for all of us. That's why we need common platform. And this, again, yes, it does translate the computer code, translates also into the code of conduct, into how we approach things. These worlds are merging. So, and in a way, maybe I never thought about this, but a couple of years ago, there was this phrase in the Web3 space, code is law. But maybe we need to start thinking also about code is life, especially Absolutely. In the light of recent technological advancement. So yeah, I would say code is everything in a way.
Sounds great. Gregor, when are you going to have some tangible toolkits and announcements for us?
So yeah, we are very close. And we've been discussing maybe to show, but we will just tease with it. So internally, we have also developed with partners in collaboration, so-called the Hive Makers Code, which is a methodology how to approach creation of value aligned emergent ecosystems. So how can we align on what as a movement we are building, but at the same time allow the space for new things to emerge that we cannot envision today. And we have just started to internally test it on Swarm, and we do plan to share it with the public within by the summer solstice at the Swarm Summit. For those who are curious and want to see and get their hands on it before, you are kindly invited to either join us on Swarm's Discord, on Fair Data Society Discord, and we can share the preview with you. It's one of those tools exactly that you mentioned, where we try to essentially translate the code, merge the code with philosophy of life, so to speak.
Pretty cool. Thank you so much, Gregor. And yes, I do advise everyone to kind of join the after party. There seems to be a lot of important information that is going to be revealed after this event is going to be over. Going now into the field where you mentioned actually the future and how the code should be live. I think that this also resonates a lot with those people that are thinking along the lines with the movement of solar punks and lunar punks. We're no longer living just with a cyberpunks. Apparently, there's millennials and Gen Zs and who knows who else is joining the fight for fair data society. I would like to very much invite the representatives of Solarpunk. You guys have 5 minutes to represent the interoperability, the case for interoperability by Solarpunks. And then you're going to be followed up by a video recorded by the Lunar DAO. So very much welcome to the stage. Hey guys.
Hey guys. Hi there. So I'm Barbara from Solarpunk, and that's Dania from Solarpunk. And as you kindly mentioned, today we are here to celebrate Fair Data Society and a little bit to talk about what we think is fairly revolutionary. Well, Solarpunk and the interconnected Web3. So it's a concept that envisions a decentralized, democratized internet that puts power back into the hands of people. And well, let me tell you, I think it's about damn time. So our ambitions run high, but this isn't going to be easy. We are competing with the biggest players in tech and the ones who've been running the show for decades, harvesting their data and benefits of its users' data. So now I think kind of we need to challenge the status quo and say enough of data silos and become a real self-sovereign. So how are we kind of aiming to achieve that? I think Swarm makes it kind of easy for you. So let's just say you want to start your own forum. You just upload your dApp on Swarm and let your community evolve and pay for the maintenance. And let's not forget that you only share the data that you wish to share with others and you have full control over it. So that's basically where interoperability comes in. Instead of creating the data silos, instead of recreating these data silos, if interoperability works well, it will enable us to build the Web3 that we all dream of. It will allow different systems and applications to work together seamlessly, and we can create the web of interconnectedness that's, well, basically, let's hope is stronger than everything as we've seen before. At least we are aiming for that. So interoperability isn't just something that is nice to have, it's essential. Without it, we will be stuck in this fragmented world where different blockchains can talk to each other and users are forced to jump through hoops just to access different applications. And yeah, let's just see where we see the solution here. So we need to work together to establish clear standards and protocols that enable different systems and applications to work together. And I think Fair Data Society is the perfect example of the need for becoming self-sovereign. Well, they started as a small bee in Swarm's hive, and now they are graduating from it. And we need to encourage more projects like that, create a web of connectivity that's strong enough to withstand even the most determined attacks from the old guard.
So we at Solarpunk so at Solarpunk, enabling interoperability is exactly what we are set out to do. We are dedicated to find potential partners. We are open for everyone. We seek and find potential partners who can future-proof their business with Swarm and create a custom-made, scalable, and secure solution for their business. So together, and when I say together, I mean together, all of us. Let's establish clear standards and protocols that will enable different systems and applications to work seamlessly together for the benefit of these businesses and for the benefit of Web3, all in all, paving the way towards a brighter, more decentralized future. So at the end of the day, the success of Web3 depends on all of us, we believe. And we need to be brave enough to challenge the status quo, that's all fine. Bold enough to dream big, that's all fine. But most importantly, we have to be open to cooperate with outside partners and cooperate among all of us to make this happen. So let's get to work. That was us.
Thank you so much. Would you mind me asking just one more random question? So
Sure.
I was looking into Solarpunk, and apparently it's not really a new term, but it has recently been adopted by the Web3 community as well, right? Could you lead us through how that breach actually happened? Like, where does the idea of Solarpunk actually come from? What did it present at the beginning, and how exactly did it got emerged into the Web3?
But basically, we think that Solarpunk is the Solarpunk future that we envision is not all doom and gloom. So we believe that if we work together and take back the control, then we will be able to kind of thrive in an environment that we create for ourselves. Do you have something to add, Daniel?
Yeah, it's also important to say, like, when you say punk, you think about a rebel who turn against the status quo. That's all fine. I mean, we all have our own objective to challenge the status quo, but we also believe that that there is a wave of change that is happening. And we already see that happening in small little fractions, and we are here to make it big. We are here to
turn on the volume,
so everyone can hear it. So that's our view.
Absolutely.
And I think like the projects in Web3 are pretty much all about like giving the control back to the individuals and giving the opportunity to them to actually work towards a brighter future that can be like green and beautiful as we envision it.
Let's hope so. I do believe there's going to be plenty of challenges, but collaboration is key as well. So very much thank you for being here with us and for sharing your thoughts.
Thank you for having us.
Absolutely. Moving on now to the Lunar DAO. Gasper, I think I'm going to ask you for sharing the video with us.
Okay, so first of all, thank you so much for having us. As Lunar DAO, we are very happy to be here with you today to talk about our perspective and our vision and what is coming from the Lunarpunk movement and communities. So you know that we are an investment DAO. We have been creating community. We have emerged basically from the Lunarpunk movement, and we want to embrace its vision and its mission and bringing into reality, basically. So we believe that the dark cycle that Lunarpunks talk about is, I mean, it's here already is true. Governments and corporations continuously enforce surveillance among users, among people. And the more surveillance is enforced on people, the more people will opt out. And will create anonymous solutions. They will go dark, basically. But the more this happens, the more surveillance will also happen. And so this is cycle, the two aspects enforce each other. And this is happening right now. Surveillance is a thing. It is not just a political point to bring up, it is a factual point. And Bitcoin was born, Bitcoin was born to be an alternative. It was born to be decentralized and peer-to-peer. And although now there is also another aspect to it. Now crypto has a lot of KYC services. It's being highly regulated all around the world. A lot of groups and call for net transparent infrastructures. We believe that crypto can still serve its purpose, original purpose of being decentralized and peer-to-peer and empowering users instead of letting big corps and governments spy. And then, cypherpunks, they knew this. They foresaw the rise of censorship. They advanced our technologies. They advanced our understanding of surveillance and of anonymity. And they took massive steps. Now the best thing we can do is to build on that legacy and to bring our own vision, to bring all this to life. So this is basically what we do as LunarDAO. LunarDAO invests in privacy projects. And it does so because this is rather urgent. There are a lot of improvements that we can do in our understanding of privacy, in our understanding of anonymous technology. This is just the beginning, really. And it's absolutely a necessary step for anyone to take, really. It's not just for crypto people, or it's not just for political people. No, it's for everyone. Privacy is a human right. It's not something you can just trade. It's not something you can just give away to the government, to companies, so they would profit out of that. No, privacy is crucial. And as a human right, we have to fight for it, we have to protect it, and we have to create our autonomous, decentralized infrastructures to live this way, to protect not only ourselves, actually, also, but our communities, because, freedom in this sense only exists if it's collective. Privacy is enforced, actually, if more users are going private. If I'm just alone against a surveillance state, what can I do, So we deeply believe that creating a community of people who share this vision, who share this mission, is what empowers us the most. So this is our mission, this is our vision. And again, thank you so much for having us.
Thank you, LunarDAO representatives. For anyone that has a question for be it Solarpunk representatives or LunarDAO, these people are all going to be available for your questions and comments and discussions in Discord. So go into the Discord, scan that QR code, or join us for the after party. We're going to lead the discussion forward. Thank you so much for the video. Indeed, there's plenty of new beginnings, plenty of new opportunities, but from the ideologies and from all these movements, we're now going to go a bit more into the theoretical parts. So I'm going to invite Chert to join me on the online stage to talk a bit more about the Swarm Odyssey and the Web3 PC. Chert, tell us everything about this. What do we need to know?
Hello, Anya, can you hear me?
Loud and clear.
Okay, great, thank you. So let me speak about the Web3 PC and the journey towards it. So what is a Web3 PC? Is it a PC? Is it a Mac, or maybe a Raspberry Pi? It's none of those, and it is all of those. So Web3PC is similar to light in its duality. You can think of the Web3PC as an idea or as a product. And just as light is taking away the darkness on this first day of spring, so is Web3PC doing away with Web2 way of doing things. The Web3PC as an idea, so it is pursued by those of us that believe that Web3 is a possible future, and we believe that we need to experiment with the technology to help it mature. A little more concretely, it is a device that has capacities to connect to Web3 and use it, and this option is either integrated into its operating system or available through a browser. As a product, it can be a regular PC with specialized software installed to make it Web3 capable. On the other end of the spectrum, it could also be a device that boots its operating system from Web3 and is completely dependent on it. For example, some IoT devices that need to load the latest version of the operating system from the cloud. So to experiment with, a dedicated Web3 PC could have the following configuration, speaking from experience. A refurbished hardware from large PC manufacturer with 8 to 16 gigabytes of RAM, an SSD drive, an i5 Intel system of an older generation. Make it small and cute for environment and the coolness factor. So you can Google tiny, micro, mini, ultra small factor PCs. Put a Debian-based Linux distribution on it, like Ubuntu, for example. And also crucial FairDrive desktop app and Swarm desktop app to access the Web3 storage. So optional is a sticker. What are we currently missing? We're missing a lot to make the Web3 PC omnipresent. So its speed, its reliability, its features. But we have progressed slowly but surely. And the next sections, we talk about more the pieces that were already built. So can the world exist without a Web3 PC? The past world can, the future world cannot. As the storage layer is a very important part of the Web3 PC, let's segue into the topic of Swarm decentralized storage, which offers the first Web3 storage for the Web3 PC. So, Anya, back to you.
Amazing, Chert. Thank you so much for presenting these to us. I hope you're going to get all the help you need and for these to be developed further. So you guys mentioned several times that the Fair Data Society and all these development tools are being available first and foremost because of Swarm. And knowing that Swarm is the network, the layer 1 or layer 0, maybe some people say, the storage facility for building the Fair Data Society, for building all these tools, we kind of want to know what's the current state of Swarm network. So I'm going to call you, Callum, to join me on the virtual stage right now. And please share with us what are the latest updates and what's new with Swarm Network.
Hi, Anya. Hopefully you can hear me okay. Yeah.
Thank you for checking in.
Great. Well, I think I'll just go straight into the current state of the network at the minute. So obviously there's been a lot of updates prior to the new year. So really since then, what we had done so far on the storage incentives roadmap were phases 1 and 2. And we had really made that distribution mechanism for the network itself. And then the most recent update that I can give is that we've increased the price of storage by 6,000x. And that's incredibly crucial because effectively what we've done prior to the new year was, yes, roll out the storage incentives, but active node participation would still be altruistic because the price was just actively so low. So really what we've done is to raise the price in line with making it very meaningful for what we've already released. And what we've seen thus far is thousands of extra nodes join the network. We've had thousands of rounds of distributions, and we're now starting to statistically kind of look into those rounds, the distributions, and the node activity on the network, really. So that's a massive, massive milestone for us, both for the network and in the storage incentives as a whole. And this is, as I said, on the back of everything that we had done prior to the new year. And then also looking forward, what we're actually understanding is a lot more of our edge cases and our problems and honing in on numbers and metrics that maybe we hadn't done before, where we were coming from more the theoretical side, conceptual side, but now we actually have a lot of the bulk of the work done, and it's very nice to hone in around solid metrics where we can look at numbers, know what's missing, know what's going wrong, uploads and downloads. We're looking at the redistribution rate, we're looking at the number of skip rounds. And the other problem to mention is that we've had a low level percentage of frozen nodes, and it's great that we're finally honing in on these problems and kind of isolating these edge cases in the network to make the whole thing much more robust over the coming weeks and months. So we're excited to work on that. And this is all part and parcel of what we were dealing with, again, prior to the new year, which was that this is a time-based mechanism that the storage incentives relies on, and that's on top of the system that's been built, and that implies a certain level of technical debt. And now that we're almost at the end of the local store rewrite and a lot of the other optimizations that we've made, we're hoping that we can move forward through that and really make the most robust version of the network possible. And as we approach the end of the storage incentives roadmap, and also a lot of this technical debt being addressed, we can kind of see the light at the end of the tunnel to make something truly robust, where we've got full control of all these numbers, all of our metrics panels look good, and we can really stand over what we've got and understand all of the different edge cases and activity that we have. In the background of that, then the last update to give is that we're closely modeling our Oracle in the background after this price increase to see just what happens now that we have so much more node operator activity. What's really going to happen in all these edge cases, and if there's a question, we have the answer for it, and that's really what we want to pin down before we release something as important as the Oracle itself. Hopefully that answers all of your questions and maybe spark some new ones from the community as well. So if there's any there, I'd love to answer them, put them in the Discord, and I'm sure someone will get to you. But I think that's everything from me.
Thank you so much, Callum. Look at you guys. You're already compliant with the proposed Data Act, and Data Act hasn't yet been even approved by the EU regulators. I mean, hearing all about the interoperability and about the robustness, these are literally the requirements that the regulators are also thinking along those lines. So it's really good to hear that, you know, the push is not only coming from the regs, it's also coming from within the community and from devs themselves, knowing that these are the important things for sure. I mean, let's talk about them further on. Guys, again, I'm going to sort of reset the room. Join the Discord if you have any further questions for Callum. You also addressed the incentives, which is really a big part of the Web3 communities as well. Like every time we're talking about the tokenomics, every time we're talking about the ICOs even, like whenever there's a group of people coming along or coming together and creating some sort of governance, there's always these, you know, incentives. How do we push forward with the voting mechanisms, and how do we engage with these communities so that we achieve something better? And here, I think we're going to have Victor Tron talking about the latest paper that addresses exactly that, incentives. Victor, can you join us and tell us more?
Yes.
Hey. Good to see you. That's a cool background.
I think it's unnecessary. Okay.
All good.
Hello, everyone. So, indeed, I'm here to announce that we kind of reached the state when we want to release the paper, the in-depth description of the storage incentives. This paper is not for everyone's probably. It's a kind of academic level description of how the storage incentives is supposed to work. It gives you the background, the motivation, and the formalism that defines the way we do the storage incentives. This is super important moment for me, because the whole swarm was basically, if you wanted to ever condense swarm's efforts into a sentence, then our technical target was to come up with engineered incentives that turn a bunch of profit maximizing rational agents miraculously into a cloud storage on the network level. So this is kind of the swarm behavior, and this quest was not small feat. So it took us, after all, it took us about 7 years to really crack this nut, and I think we finally did a good job. We came up with a very elegant and very robust solution, whereby we solve the problem of how to give positive incentive for nodes to store content that is not popular, in the sense that is not retrieved often, and therefore no use for having bandwidth compensation for. So this approach was the result of many years of hard work, and now with this paper out, I think we want to open it up for serious reviews, and hopefully it will stand the test of time. And as we see, it's kind of ticking along quite nicely these days. The phase 4 that Helen mentioned is going to bring some extra hardening of the solution, in the sense that it's going to stop potential malicious nodes from exploiting the system, and validates their entitlement to the rewards that they get for contributing storage space. And the paper is in almost finished state. So it can be read. It has a part where the thing is given in a formal notation, so there's formalization and various appendices that explain issues which have long been debated in the community, like, for example, the batch utilization issues, and also how the price oracle works. And with this, I would like to catch short. So please have a look if you're interested, and give us feedback on the paper, and feel free to leave your comments in the collaborative editing platform that we use to keep this live document. So thank you, and hope you get some of your.
Absolutely. Thank you, Victor. And I truly hope there is going to be many more geniuses responding to your paper and having some comments. There is a question that we had for Callum, and possibly yourself as well. Someone from the audience asked if there's any idea of the time frame of the new storage layer availability. So perhaps you or Callum can answer this question right away.
So I'm not sure. Probably this question is concerned with the re-implementation efforts that so there's currently efforts in the developer team to replace the current local store implementation. So this is I think the question is concerns that, and I think it's probably we're talking weeks, that in the coming weeks this is going to be deployed and replacing the old kind of probably buggy and not very efficient solution. So if the question was meant to ask something else, then let me know.
All right. We're going to have all these questions also answered in Discord, so stay tuned and keep an eye on Discord. Thank you so much, Victor. I look forward to get that paper into my hands as well, even though I'm not as competent in creating the code or understanding the code, but nevertheless, I'm surrounded by people like yourself, so I hope to get through the paper as well. And thank you so much for the information shared here.
Thank you. And let me just reiterate: if someone has to get the paper in their hands and read it, and you don't understand, that's not your fault. That's our fault. So give us please honest feedback about this.
Will do. Taken into account. I for sure will share my feedback and comments as well. Thank you so much. And now I think it's time for diving into the Fed drive and dApps. So again, I'm going to invite Chert to talk about technology, because Chert, you are the best, the one to ask all these questions and to address all these topics. So what about Fed drive and what should we know about dApps?
Thank you, Anya. So I'm back, right? Okay, so let me do first a short introduction about the Fair Data Protocol. So what is Fair Data Protocol about? It's about interoperability, self-sovereignty, and privacy. But it is also about trust that should be established between all the participants in the data ecosystem by guaranteeing fair exchange of data for everyone involved. So the end user facing apps using Fair Data Protocol are FairDrive, and all the existing dApps connecting to the FairOS storage layer. So you can see the Explore section in the FairDrive web app. And also let me add a disclaimer that Fair Data Protocol should be considered in a state of beta, a sandbox for developers to use for extra features on top of decentralized storage with no guarantees about data persistence and security. Let us first look at a video, watch a video demonstrating the interoperability to get a feeling for the emerging ecosystem.
Let's immerse ourselves in the latest application of interoperability. How to avoid data being stuck in silos. How to make sure data can be used by different services that can add value to it. How can you trust those services? These are some of the topics that the Fair Data Society is tackling. The suggested direction would be to put the data into a self-sovereign cloud and allow specific trusted services and applications access to it in an interoperable way. FairOS offers such storage, with FairDrive being the end-user-facing application to gain access to it. FairDrive has both a desktop application and a web application. Let us log in into FairDrive and look at a few cases. Log in into FairDrive with your FDS username and password. Go under the list of pods and create a new one. These reside in FairOS decentralized file system using the Swarm decentralized cloud of peers. We will upload an example file to work with. It can now be edited in Dracula Markdown editor. This was one of the apps modified from an open-source Web 2 app to become Web 3 capable. We will open the file we uploaded and make some edits to it. Besides the FairDrive web app, we also use the FairDrive desktop app, which is more appropriate for certain use cases. FairDrive desktop app runs in the background and loads data from FairOS decentralized file system. The status icon allows access to its settings, which presume a local Swarm be running. The pods and folders are mounted on the local computer and available in a similar way as regular folders. Note, the data is removed when the folders are unmounted. The file we worked with previously are therefore also available locally. We can create another folder for the photos we would like to show to our audience. And we can also copy a picture into it. We can use a desktop app to work with these. Or we can again return to some dApps to leverage special features not available otherwise. First, we go to the Fair Photo app to show a simple photo viewer that we can use to view the photos. Let's see if there is anyone we particularly like. Finally, imagine that when you give access to your files to an app, a consent record is saved in a form of a receipt file. FairDrive is meant as a showbox for these receipts that could be accessed by different apps providing services, in this case a simple viewer of the recorded consent. We hope this demo has demonstrated some interesting use case for you. The efforts under Fair Data Protocol development are aimed at providing an easy way for developers to join Web3 app developments, and in the end benefit the end users through privacy, self-sovereignty, interoperability, and seamless integrations with various apps and services that they trust. Please refer to the documentation for more details, or see some more of our videos.
So, Tamas, I would invite you to the stage, please.
Hello there, Chert.
Hello, how are you?
I'm fine, thanks.
So, Tamas, you're maybe the person with the most experience in using dApps on top of FairDrive, as you have been developing, testing, giving feedback, and also provided recording for a lot of the FDS videos. I know you put a lot of attention to detail doing this, also engaging professional models for the images. So, FDS is Fair Data Society is aiming for interoperability, which probably depends a lot on the technical solution and its adoption. But what about trust and general usability of the available apps? So where are we with this? Where are the most pressing issues, usability, and what kind of data would you personally trust and be willing to put into the system at this point in time and level of maturity?
Tough questions wandering around in the air right now. I try to remain short. Your introduction on me, please. So I use and test all current and new developments to the full extent. So if it gets out in the mainnet incorrectly, you can blame me, please blame. So this is what you're presenting here is currently available to users in a beta state right now. So they should refrain storing sensitive data on FairDrive. I personally store photos, never lose them, but they are also stored as well. So addressing pressuring issues, there's this old saying that issues are problems and problems can be opportunities also. So this is a natural part of the development process. The number of discovered problems will increase with the proportion of the number of users. So let's speak about the biggest problem we have, the time to live. I have to say the TTR, continuous availability of data, so that they do not disappear. This is already largely ensured, but there are some hiccups. Besides, at the moment, the most important thing is to shorten loading screens and simplify the creation of the user accounts so that we can easily use them immediately in all apps, those accounts. So the most important milestone will be in the soon future is the introduction of Fair Portal. I would call this a splash screen from which we can move on to depths without having to log in again. I'm aiming to decrease the entry skill level for using FairDrive. So, yeah.
Okay.
Thank you for tuning in.
Thank you, Tamas. So, thank you for all your feedback and all your help. So, and we would go now to the next section, which is about FairDrive desktop apps and similar products. So let me give first a bit of background. FairOS decentralized file storage is implemented as a JavaScript library known as FDP storage. This is what the FairDrive web app uses in its latest versions. But FairOS was first developed and still is maintained and upgraded as a Go implementation, and this is what the FairDrive desktop app uses. Both implementations are interoperable as they are compliant with the specifications as defined under the Fair Data Protocol. In the next 10 minutes, Tadej and Sabyasachi will present what is new in FairOS decentralized file storage Go version, FairDrive desktop app, and some other interesting solutions using the technology. So I would invite Tadej and Sabyasachi to the stage.
Hi, Chert.
Hi, Tadej.
Thank you.
So, hi, Sabyasachi. So I'll tune out and leave you to present.
Okay, so we will present what's new in the ecosystem updates for the FairOS. So we'll briefly talk about what FairOS is, what FairDrive desktop is, you already know, what we did with the WASM implementation of it, and then we will introduce the SMAIL, which uses the WASM integration, have Data Hub subscription services, and it's like email-like service. I will give the word to Sabyasachi now.
Yeah, thank you. So in the past couple of months, we have been mostly working on pods, and so they are like accessing public pods that were previously there, but you could not access it without logging in. So we added that part. Also, this pod subscription model that we are calling Data Hub, that they will later explain. So going deep into the public pods, you now can access public pods without logging in through the shared reference. And with that enabled, we have tons of features that we can add to our pods. So we can host pages to our public pods, access them from browser. We can also access key value stores from the public pods. Even we can stream videos, HLS videos, and browse them in VLC maybe or in web. And yeah, can you please go to the next slide? Yeah, coming to FairDrive desktop app, we were working on this to make it more performant. So the loading time decreases now. And yeah, we were also working on integrating this data hub with FairDrive. So whatever data that whatever pod you subscribe to can be accessed from a FairDrive desktop app and can be accessed from your user space. Yeah, next, up to you, Tade.
Okay, thank you. So one of the really exciting parts is the WASM module for the FairOS. It's fully client-side, works inside the browser. It's really fast, has much better performance than running the FTP protocol. It's compact, hardware independent. It's reliable and very easy to implement. I would invite everybody actually to take a look at the FairOS client examples, where there is a very simple app that implements the WASM inside of the web app. So with all this, with the WASM, we decided we do the first integration of the real app. So we built a Smail, which is an email-like system that provides a secure one-way communication channel for users who are looking for a more private and efficient way of exchanging information. So Smail has some unique features that include a locker with sharing capabilities and a marketplace with subscriptions, making it like all-in-one platform for managing your communication. In addition to these features mentioned above, Smail allows users to link their FairOS portable account with list subscriptions, so other users can browse and then request access to these pods. And this enables us completely new ways. Part of it is enabled by using the public pod features. Part of it we added into the implementation. So what is Smail? Like one-way mail allows users to send messages to others without receiving any replies. So it's one-way shot. That ensures that sensitive information remains really confidential. It's being encrypted and stored as an encryption, and only the receiver can decrypt the contents. The feature is ideal for business, for professionals, for journalists, and anyone who values privacy in their communication. The second part of the Smail is a locker, and the locker has a sharing capability. So you store the data in your locker, and then you can share this data with others, users, trusted parties when needed. Right? And this feature is especially useful for, let's say, sharing sensitive information with clients or colleagues, and it ensures that information is truly being securely stored and remains safe at all the times. Finally, the Smail subscription marketplace makes it easy to manage your email communication with vendors, with service providers, and other third-party contacts. Users can subscribe to various services or creations that creators provide in their pods. And they can stay up to date. So if the creators maintain their data and the subscribers can access this data, all kinds of services can be built on top of it. To ensure these secure transactions between users, the Smail acts as an escrow account. means that the payments for the subscriptions are held in a secure escrow until the subscription is being actually delivered. Once the subscription is delivered, the funds are being transferred to the creator, and the subscription is valid for some duration that you specify at the time when you do the listing of the subscription. So with all this together, here's a chart that simplifies how all this is done regarding Data Hub. So the end result is that the users see their subscription pods in their FDA account. They can mount this data directly into their file system, access it, read it, do whatever they want with it, right? As long as the subscription is still valid. So this enables like creators to create data and earn from their subscribers. So with this, we are targeting all digital data marketplaces. I wouldn't name them, but I would say that this trustless nature of this kind of a marketplaces enables or the banked or the how would they say, you know, deplatformed people actually to use digital services, even though they are being not wished for on other platforms. Of course, the Fair Data Society will provide one front end. It will be curated, but anybody can take and use the same contracts and build their own front ends for whatever digital marketplace they are targeting. Of course, in the underlying layer, there is a Fair OS, Fair Data Protocol, and Swarm storage, which enables all of this. So yeah, that's from us. I would say everything. Please keep an eye on Fair OS and FDA repos. The releases are incoming. That's it. Sure.
Thank you. So thank you, Tadej and Sabyasachi. Some very exciting new things are available, I see. So this Smail app specifically, I think, is a good example of what can be built on top of tools that are provided by Fair Data Society. So the Fair OS decentralized file system and all the things that are open sourced by Fair Data Society. So first off, Sabyasachi, can you tell us a bit about the future roadmap of Fair OS? What is the most exciting features planned in the next half a year?
Yeah, thanks. So mostly what we are looking at is we have this WASM client, and then we have our Android support. So we want to actually make that more usable, also increase the support for Fair OS to be accessed from multiple platforms. Also, talking about FDA, we have plans for implementing file syncing feature, so you can actually sync your local directory to your pod, and then from other device you can sync back the content. So yeah, mostly these are planned.
Okay, thank you. And I also have a question for you today. So with Smail, you know, the option of exchanging data in various ways opens up. So how can someone be sure that their data will not fall into the wrong hands in the process?
I mean, as long as they use the data sets on the swarm and it's encrypted by your keys. So as long as you don't leak those keys, your data is safe. So why we built Smail is because we wanted to separate the payment account from the portable account. I mean, you can still do payments with the portable account. That's not an issue. It's just that, you know, people are used to using the wallets and all this, let's say, normal stuff that they use. And Smail does exactly that. So you sign in, once you connect the FairOS account with your payable account, which sits in the MetaMask, you separate these concerns and you don't have to keep funds on both accounts. And so with this, I would say we increase the privacy, we prioritize security, and of course, because of the convenience because you just like click, you don't need any password anymore to log into your portable account once this is being bonded or connected. So I think that with features like these, like one-way mails or locking data and sharing capabilities and unsharing capabilities, of course, and subscriptions and marketplaces, I think that we are going like really forward with our vision that your data can and should be private, and we are like enforcing this as much as we can, you know, so that Swarm as a decentralized storage and the services and FDP and FairOS would be like a, let's say, perfect choice for anyone who wants to take control of their communication.
Okay,
Yeah.
thank you. So, and as the other projects, so Smail is like a third-party app, right, connecting to the tools provided by Fair Data Society, but it is also not like security reviewed and things like that. So there are no currently guarantees.
I mean,
right?
it's still beta, right?
Yeah. So that's clear. And thank you guys for this presentation. And on to the next section for us. It's about thank you. It's about Blossom and its connection to Fair Data Protocol. So to give a bit of background for Blossom browser extension and its connection to Fair Data Protocol, the dApps that are running in the browser, such as the FairDrive web app, for example, need to access data in FairOS storage, or sometimes we colloquially call it FairDrive storage. And as we do not want to share the user credentials with every application, the need for the Blossom browser extension arises. So Blossom is the user agent, the intermediary between the dApps and the storage that handles what each dApp is allowed to do with the storage. So we will first watch a short video explainer. So please.
Welcome. Web3 framework and an all-runner account manager for FDS ecosystem? Let us start with why Blossom was developed and what it actually does. Current internet browsers do not function in a Web3 environment properly, but this problem can be sorted out by running browser extensions. Swarm browser extension created domainless context for dApps and provides an interface to interact with the P2P storage client of the user. Blossom Chrome browser extension has extended this with the user wallet and its corresponding personal storage handling. It weights the account management off from the dApp logic and introduces permission personal storage operations that also support interoperability between dApps. When you use Blossom for the first time, you can register, generating a new identity, and import an existing FDP account with seed words. Later you can log in normally with the login button. Let's start with registration. Registration is done as usual, keep the seed words in a safe place. Log into FairDrive via Blossom. FairDrive has been enriched with a new login method by Blossom, but there are several ways to create user accounts. We created a pod. Pods are like drives in the personal storage that can be mounted into your file system. Log into FDA with same credentials. Please visit Fair Data Society Discord for more details, or see some more of our videos. Thank you for watching.
So I invite Victor Todt to the stage. So, hi, Victor.
Hello there. Hello, Rachel.
Hello. So let us welcome Victor, the person behind the Fair Data Protocol idea. We have just seen a short intro video about Blossom and what it can do currently. So can you please tell us what it would mean for Blossom to be feature complete? How far along are we? What is still needed? And what would be the next steps?
Sure. So Blossom is feature complete for its first version, since it satisfies the data wallet functionalities that we initially planned to make. According to the broader plan that we are missing is the reputation-based data market interface, about which you can read in the FDP roadmap. I would like to give a signal here to the Data Hub team. In my opinion, but I would like to talk about this really first visible version of the Blossom instead, not this data market stuff, and because it's awesome. It opens a window to the Web3 browsers, where the user agent of the new internet is responsible for handling not only the user account, but accessing and managing all data that belongs to the user. As you saw on the video, the users can register wallet. That means it will upload the encrypted wallet seed to Swarm, which is retrievable later on any other device by providing a username and a password. Thereby, the user account is portable. Additionally, Blossom contains personal storage handling in the same way as it is done in FairOS, and it has introduced a new permission handling for dApps. Each dApp has its own separated drive or so-called pod in the user's storage space based on its dApp ID. The dApp ID is either the Swarm hash of the application or its ENS name. Dapps can write persistent and encrypted data to the personal storage or use the pod signer for single owner chunk or any other crypto related operations with this specific dApp signer. This pod usage prevents web applications to discover what kind of application the user uses and what kind of data they upload to Swarm. Moreover, dApps can request access to any other pod as well from the user that provides interoperability between dApp-generated data. Dapps can use the same pod wallet to read and write, and after of course, the user allows that. For example, I can imagine here different chat applications that use the messages pod. Thereby, there wouldn't be problem anymore on which application your friend wrote you, for example. Outside of these features, Blossom can integrate any other solution that requires user agent-backed permission handling for data. Everybody can suggest such ideas in form of tips. That is our improvement proposal system. I'm also very excited because this will be the first time to try out Blossom in action with the FairDrive integration. There were many difficulties with the new Manifest v3 change by Google Chrome, but we sorted out most of the problems. And nevertheless, there could be some issues in the first period. If you notice any problems, please create an issue about that in the Blossom's GitHub repository. And one additional info, I just checked, they still haven't accepted the publishing in the store, but you can already build the new version of the Blossom from the very same GitHub repository.
Okay, thank you. So yeah, it will be soon in the Google store, but currently it's you have to build it yourself, right? We're anxious to install it, so any day now. If somebody wants to use Blossom in their apps, what would be the best way for them to proceed?
The FTP storage JS library implemented all functionalities of FairOS, for the personal storage concept. Blossom uses the very same interface for this FTP storage library. So if one is already using that, the integration is a few lines of code. Outside of that, there are some additional methods that developers can call against the extension, and the feature list is documented in the Blossom's GitHub repository in the library folder.
Okay, thank you, Victor. Very exciting. But we're on to the next section. So this Swarm Odyssey bounties. Bye-bye. So to support and energize development using the tools that were mentioned today, some bounties already exist and additional ones can be expected in the coming weeks. You can find them on the Gitcoin platform, where you can also apply with a work proposal. Categories covered in the next few weeks will be about registering and indexing data on Swarm, dApps development and usage of the Blossom extension, and security. So the currently outstanding bounties are about extending Swarm Gateway to support registering uploaded public files to a FairOS pod as a registry. So it could be later on maybe indexed. Then there is one about developing a PDF viewer app for FairDrive using Blossom to access the documents through FTP storage. And there is one about implementing a dApp of your choice using Blossom extension and FTP storage. So make your proposals, aim for simple but useful, and the most interesting work proposal will be approved. Join us on the Fair Data Society Discord for more information. And I guess that would be it from my side. And back to you, Anya.
Thank you, Chert. Please stay on the line. We have plenty of really interesting questions as well.
Oh, great.
First off, I really want to share, this was mind-blowing. The things that you are developing and that you have developed in the years that I've first heard for Fair Data Society and all these tools, this is amazing, beyond amazing. Congrats.
Thank you, Anya. Of course, the thanks goes to the team behind it, right?
Absolutely. So the team, here's two questions that we have. First is for the FDS JavaScript implementation. So the question is, does it implement the complete B node or still use a stock B node as the Swarm backend?
So I might be able to answer that, but maybe best if Victor, you tune in and do it more professionally.
Sure. My answer can be short, like it still communicates with B, and we don't have a full implementation of the whole B client concept, but we have some part of it which not really used by the community. So, for example, the BMTGS is the one that even includes and supports inclusion proofing for any data. And yeah, so I think we missed some API features in the B client to have a full running B node in browser. One of that is an API endpoint that requires and waits for signed chunks, and we don't have that yet, but it's not in priority at the moment.
Okay, and the same question has been related to the WASM module. So does it, again, implement the B node in the browser or use a stock B node?
I would ask today maybe to answer this one. You can join us.
Can you repeat the question?
So does the WASM module implement a B node in the browser or use a stock B node?
No, when you initialize it, you provide it with the B node and the RPCs for the chain on which you want it to work.
Cool.
So it implements FairOS, right? Not the B.
Yeah. It's a layer on top of it. It has its own like file system and how it stores the files and how it puts the files into chunks and all this. So yeah, so the B is the layer 0 solution for the FairOS.
Okay, I hope we got some answers. If not, stay online or join the Discord channel again. I hope Victor and Tadej and Chert and everybody else from the team are going to be there and answering your questions. Also, there's going to be an after party once this event is over. So keep an eye on all the information that is going to come. Cert, thank you so much for providing all this valuable information. It was really a blast, especially hearing about how we might be using identity and how we may use the storage for really just combining everything at once through our browsers. This is truly amazing.
Thank you, Anya. Our pleasure. Bye-bye.
Thank you so much. So we're going to go along with Robert, who's going to be telling us a bit more about the great data upload. So this is the part where we're going to be talking about the practical applications, about how Wikipedia is using decentralized storage, how we may use it for open street maps and Braintree neurodata and everything else. This is going to be really interesting, so stay tuned. Robert, do we have you online?
Yes, we do. Thank you, Anya.
Good to see you.
As Gregor mentioned earlier in the broadcast, the goals of Fair Data Society are to support a world where data is private, interoperable, and sovereign. And for this, one of the initiatives launched is the Great Data Upload, a movement coordinated by the Fair Data Society, which is happening in a decentralized way. There will be many efforts, and this is one of the first ones. And to support this, Swarm launched a data upload sponsorship. And several projects have already come to fruition because of that. And we're going to discuss several. These four will join us in the broadcast. If you have any questions, please state them, of course, in Discord, and we will pick them up immediately. For the first project, we have with us Costanza Gallo about a decentralized Wikipedia.
Hi, Robert. Thank you.
Hi, Costanza.
Please,
could you tell us more about what is it? How did it come to be? Why does it exist? And where can we find more information?
Yeah.
Basically.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you. So before getting into what is Wikipedia on Swarm, it is a project that has been going on for about a year. And the main reason is, why do we care? What is it? Because it is everything we talked about is not just a technical exercise. Putting Wikipedia on Swarm is something more. And this is because Wikipedia is so often the subject of censorship all around the world. In China, Venezuela, France, the UK, they all at some point had Wikipedia censored and couldn't access it. And actually, the list of countries that censored Wikipedia is way, way longer. And it's so common that you can find the Wikipedia page on Wikipedia censorship. And this is why we care about it and why we do Wikipedia on Swarm. To protect freedom of information and freedom of expression, which is the freedom to seek, receive, and impart information and ideas through any media and regardless of frontiers. And that, of course, includes Wikipedia. And that's why we launched the Wikipedia Prize last year. It focused on changing this by addressing the technological level of censorship. So by bringing Wikipedia from Web 2 to Web 3. In 2022, the Swarm Association partnered with Kiwix. Kiwix is a Swiss nonprofit that lets you store websites like Wikipedia offline. And a few months after, we had the Wikipedia Swarm Prize, a 50K prize to make a decentralized copy of Wikipedia. This is because relying only on offline is not enough. So the Wikipedia Swarm Prize, the first prize was won by Igar 1991, who developed a static mirror copy of Wikipedia on Swarm. And let me tell you, it was pretty awesome. There was one crucial piece that was missing to make it more user-friendly, the search mechanism. You know, when you search something on Wikipedia and you get the article you're looking for. So after a few months, we launched a new bounty, and Igar just completed it. It developed a search engine for Wikipedia Swarm. And, instead of doing a demo, I'm going to pass the link on Discord so that everyone can try it out. So this is amazing, and we are still far from being done. Some long-term plans are I would like to see the Wikimedia Foundation to actually see the potentiality of Web3 and of what we're building here, and how a decentralized architecture can benefit Wikipedia and bring into the future. Because yes, now we have the asynchronous copy of Wikipedia, but imagine having the entire Wikipedia in production, fully decentralized. That would be super, super cool. And finally, also, this is a grand project, is super ambitious. So if we want to make the decentralized Wikipedia project stand on its own legs, we need to become independent. So also in terms of funding and governance. So yeah, if you want to join the discussion on how to make it possible and how to make it a reality, again, come on Discord. On FDS Discord, there is a channel dedicated to Wikipedia, so that you can start talking and building Wikipedia on Swarm with us. Thank you.
No, thank you, Costanza, for this insight. And yeah, who doesn't want open knowledge available to anyone and accessible to anyone? Thank you. And we'll check for questions in the Discord in the meantime. As of now, I'd like to call forward Mirko. Where are you, Mirko? To demonstrate Eterna.
Hi, Robert. Hi.
Hi, Mirko. Hi, Mirko. Great to see you. How are you?
I'm fine, thank you.
Okay.
Yeah.
The floor is yours. What is Eterna? Why did you build it? How can we use it? And
yeah,
what do you need?
Eterna is a video platform based on Swarm, and we are building it because we think that to be able to be free to share videos is one of the most important thing into a free world from censorship, and we want to make discussions on content to be free and yeah, totally aligned to fair data principles. And today I'm here because I'm here to announce that we have released a first version of our Eterna video importer. It's currently published on GitHub, and we are currently using it to test a first big amount of uploads from DevCon's archive. And this is still a first version, but next version will come. On next version, we will introduce also a graphic user interface. Today is a console application, and we will be provided also from our website when this will be ready for use for everyone in a simple way. Currently, there is support to import videos from YouTube, but it will also support to import videos from local storage or other platforms. And yeah, Eterna is building yeah, a lot of new features that will be released on few months. Currently, we are under an heavy refactoring because we are implementing some features like a new video protocol. We will migrate from MP4 to HLS. We are implementing also monetizations for creators. So I unfortunately have to say that we are not releasing now new alpha passes because we are implementing deep changes, but this will be released soon. And yeah, this is it.
Thank you, Mirko. What's the website if people want to know more?
Yeah, the website is eterna.io.
Awesome.
And
do I understand correctly that because it's decentrally hosted, if you sync a video to Eterna, it's also censorship resistant?
Yeah, absolutely. Because videos and videos metadata are full stored on Swarm.
Awesome. Okay. If there are any questions coming in on Discord, we'll forward them to you. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you.
Next, I would like to call forward LDefnB, who joined us today. He will demonstrate the use of OpenStreetMaps hosted decentralized. Are you with us, LDefnB?
I am indeed, and hopefully you'll see my slides appearing on your screen momentarily.
Yes, we do.
Okay, great. I'm going to talk about OpenStreetMaps on Swarm. If you haven't heard of OpenStreetMap, it is a free editable map of the world built mostly by volunteers from scratch and released in an open content license. So it makes nice large data set. And just for the legal folks out there, OpenStreetMap is a registered trade map of the OSMF, the OpenStreetMap Foundation. What I'm going to talk about, we're going to skip right over that. Introduction. Who am I? I go by LDefnB. You'll find me on the Swarm support Discord. I've been playing with Swarm since basically the inception of the newest version. And what is OpenStreetMap on Swarm? My goal is 100% Swarm resident OpenStreetMaps compatible map and tiles. It's already in the Swarm. There's a link that I'll be posting at the end of this talk. So why in the world would I tackle such a project? I'm doing it, me, myself, and I. I'm an amateur radio operator, and I have an amateur radio application that is actually a map consumer that is used by operators around the world. And I was looking for a better, more reliable source of the map data. Many of you know the map servers out there are mostly closed and for pay, even OpenStreetMaps. While the data itself is open and freely available, access to their tile servers are discouraged in large volume. How did I do it? We'll get to that if I have time towards the end. First, we need to define a couple of terms. We have data versus the map. OpenStreetMaps refers to the data from which the map is built. They have tile servers that let you see a map, but what the whole project is about is really the data describing the map. What I'm building onto the Swarm is the map itself, not the raw data. There's two ways you can put maps into viewable form. There's vector tiles and raster tiles. Vector tiles contain a version of the data. Raster tiles are actually pictures, pre-rendered, chopped up pieces of the planet representing the map. I'm putting the raster tiles onto the Swarm. To generate raster tiles from the data, you have to have a tile server. ModTile RenderD is the tile server of use. You can find out about that at the link that, again, I'm going to have a link to this presentation, so you don't have to write that down. The raster map viewers, I'm using Leaflet. There's a couple of other alternatives. And a tile is a 256 by 256 pixel PNG map image. You stitch them all together and you end up with a map. So we talk about tiles a lot. I'll be mentioning tiles a lot. Meta tiles is a mini archive of 8x8 tiles that are created by RenderD on the tile server. They're only usable by ModTile, who serves out the individual 256 by 256 PNG tiles. That's also important for a little bit of history. So what exactly is in the Swarm? The Swarm contains osmmap.html. When you browse the map that I've got on the Swarm, you can do a view source in your browser. It's fully visible there. It does a couple of things to make the map usable. It uses Leaflet under the covers. In the Swarm is the Leaflet distribution files. So nothing is coming off of the Web 2. It's all coming off the Swarm. There's also a Leaflet tile layer fallback that lets me suppress all of the single color tiles that are redundant with 1/4 of the tile at the lesser zoom level. So we don't actually have tiles for the entire planet's oceans or their deserts or the ice sheets on the North and South poles. Those are suppressed, and the tile layer fallback fills in the blanks at runtime. And of course, the tile PNG files. That's the biggest part of it. They are directly accessible by any OpenStreetMap compatible viewer. There are various and sundry map products out there that can access these. You just point them to the swarm and you can view the map tiles directly off the swarm in your favorite OSM compatible map viewer. I also threw in 2 extra files in a Zoom directory, 0 through 18. There's a coverage.png that shows an image of what's in the map at that zoom level, and an update.json that lets you find out when it was put up. How big is the data we're talking about? The March 2023 version has a direct reference there. It contains 22 million individual PNG files, 25,800,000 Monterey manifest nodes. The Monterey manifest, for those that have never heard of it, is the thing that gives a directory structure to the files themselves. And in total, it's 152 plus gigabytes of raw metatiles before the single color suppression. I don't know the exact size of what tiles made it into the swarm, but that gives you an idea of the scope of the data set that we're talking about. Here's a quick flash of how many tiles there are at each little zoom level. You can look at that later. So what map coverage did I choose to build? I can't really render the entire planet. There are major swaths of our planet that are probably not interesting to most people. So what I did is I found from Simple Map a world cities database. The free version is about 43,000 entries. Big cities, I rendered down to zoom level 17, which is very detailed. Bigger cities, I rendered down to zoom 16. Smaller cities are down to 15. And in fact, I decided to just render all the listed cities at a zoom level of 15, where the larger cities have a larger area around the city center, and the smaller cities, of course, are smaller. I have planetary coverage out to zoom 12, even though there's no single color tiles at zoom 12, you can see anywhere in the planet at zoom 12. If you want to use it in your OSM compatible tile accessing application, there's the URL. Again, this will be posted in the Discord, so you can get a link to all these slides and you can copy that out. Just put that reference into your bnode's BZZ link and you will have the map. If you use that same reference in an OSM compatible tile accessing application, assuming they're using the expected tile name format of zxy.png, they'll be able to directly browse the tiles off the swarm. Of course, with a third-party application, you may have holes where the single color tiles are not stored in the water, desert, and ice. Very unlikely that you'll have any holes in populated areas because there is detail in those levels. So how did I get it there? This project was originally started in September of 2021. I'm currently on my 10th or 11th complete copy in the swarm of the tiles. I originally played with putting the meta tiles directly into IPFS for my application to access. That really was not very good. And it's closed because nothing in the world knows how to access a meta tile. So then when I got into Swarm, I looked at the tar create and upload with BZZ, but needless to say, there's way too much data to generate a tar file, and the B node actually rolls over and plays dead with its feet in the air if you feed it a tar that's really, really complex. So what I do now is I use the Monterey JS, the JavaScript application, to directly build the manifest after individually loading up each of those tiles, splitting them out from the tile server's meta tiles. So once all the tiles are loaded, I remember all those references offline. Then I stitch together a single zoom manifest. And when all 18 zooms are out there, I stitch together the final top level reference. And then I update the manifest feed reference to say the new version is out there. How do you keep it there? As you may have heard earlier in this call, the swarm is not yet 100% retentive. It does forget individual chunks randomly. Random chunks become non-retrievable over time. We're talking a really, really small percentage. Like in my measurement recently, it's about 0.03% of my chunks disappear randomly. But if one of those chunks is a manifest node, it can wipe out an entire Zoom level with one chunk going missing. So you're not likely to see a problem with your typical video or your relatively small sized website, but Swarm nicely provides the /stewardship API that lets you do checking and re-uploading of those references. Don't do the stewardship API on the OSM reference. I warn you right now. I have a customized version of the stewardship API that does not try to expand the entire manifest in one go. It expands individual files, but it does not expand the manifest. If you hit the /stewardship API with the Swarm OSM reference, prepare that your B node will be busy for probably a week. And you'll probably be issuing some substantial checks out just for the swap transfers of your B node checking all the stewardship. I do locally pin all of the data in my Swarm node, but I also keep an offline version or an out of Swarm version of all the data that was uploaded. I actually, a lot of my tools were leveraged into the original Wikipedia on Swarm bounty. So you can find a GitHub of swarming-Wikipedia. Index.ts is the thing that uploaded the actual Wikipedia zim file, broke it up into individual files, did all the things I just described of uploading the files and then subsequently building the manifest locally offline or locally in the client. But there's also pin reference, repin reference, restamp reference, and steward reference that will let you do their respective names for any manifest reference that you have in Swarm. So if you have a manifest reference and you would like to pin it on your local node, you can feed it to pin reference. Not very user-friendly. You have to read the source code to figure out the command line arguments. It's recommended that you get a copy of my hacked stewardship and pins APIs before you try this, but those tools are available. So that was the Firehose version. And I'm done. I'm going to throw it back to Robert as soon as I remember how to stop sharing.
Thank you, LDEF&B. Thank you. That's an amazing set you got there. And especially since 2021, like you mentioned. I'm curious, have you seen already applications building their own overlays on top of this set?
I'm not aware of any. I've made no secret that it's totally doable, but I don't know of anyone doing it. You can use this with Leaflet and embed individual maps in your dApp's website and access the tiles straight off the Swarm. So it is definitely technically feasible. I just don't know of anyone actually doing it yet.
Okay. Well, if you're listening or viewing, then give it a go. You're sharing the information in the Fair Data Society Discord channel, I assume.
That is correct. The link to the presentation will be there shortly.
Thank you so much. Okay. Thank you, LDEF&B. And now I would like to call forward David from the BrainTrip project. David, are you with us?
Yes, I am.
Hi.
Can you see me?
David, yeah, we can hear you loud and clear. What is BrainTrip? What does it do? Why did you create it? And how can we learn more about it? Thank you.
Let me just share my screen. So, yeah, hi, I'm David. Nice to be talking here. I'd like to start off with this. I listened to this interesting podcast a few days ago. It's about the ethics and law of neurotechnology. More precisely, the data generated by neurotechnology. And here we have the usual suspects, neuromarketing companies trying to sell better ads, Meta trying to implement brainwave scanning into VR for better head tracking, wink. And this is a highly relevant topic for me because I'm the co-founder and CEO of BrainTrip. And at BrainTrip, we translate EEG, brainwave data, into biomarkers of brain function. Until now, brainwaves have been used to detect epilepsy, but we believe that we can detect a myriad of other brain disorders from this same dataset. We already validated this claim with our first product, the Brain Trip Dementia Index. In essence, we built a complex data processing pipeline that takes in brainwave data and returns a numerical score between 1 and 100. The lower the score, the higher the risk that the person being tested is in early stages of dementia. BrainTrip is therefore one of the neurotechnology companies being addressed in the podcast that I mentioned, and its origin book, The Battle for Your Brain. We absolutely support the core idea of Nina Farahany's work, the idea that we have to beware the commodification of brainwave data and that we have to protect freedom of thought. This is why we chose to partner with Swarm. We believe that neurodata is the most sensitive data that humans generate and that it should be handled with care. To prevent potential misuse, we already anonymized all the data that we collect, but FairDrive gives us the ability to go a step further. It allows us to distribute EEG data to other neuroscience researchers. These researchers might use the data that we collected in a completely novel way. They might discover something that we wouldn't have thought possible. So we've already set up our own node and uploaded 500 anonymized EEG recordings to FairDrive. Now we invite other neurotechnology companies to do the same, or to at least adopt the Fair Data Society principles. Jointly, we can prevent the commodification of neurodata and its use for nefarious profiteering purposes. Thank you.
Thank you, David. When I heard about this project, I was impressed with the way we can, let's say, reuse data and also contribute to this in a way from a lot of angles across the globe, trying to grasp this specific topic and also have some quality assurance from the providers involved in this. Have you seen other institutes also already interested in collaboration for this project?
Actually, yes. We were sharing data with a couple of institutes in Slovenia already. So there definitely is interest. You know, to be honest, we didn't tell them you can download the data from FairDrive because they're not so technologically advanced to be able to do that. But we hope that this lies in the future. You know, and this is the greatest thing that FairDrive provides us, that we don't have to go peer to peer, you know, just talking to individuals, but that basically we can put the data out there and whoever wishes to use it, they can use it.
Amazing. Thank you for your contribution.
Okay.
And again, if people want to know more, join us in the chat on Discord, where all the slides and links will be shared of these presentations. If you've seen these projects and you're somehow inspired, or if you're working on a project which is also trying to have impact on a global scale, in line with the SDGs, the Sustainable Development Goals of the United Nations, you might want to check out the sponsorship provided by Swarm as part of this movement by Fair Data Society. Let me share my screen for an impression. There we go. The form is located on the Swarm website. It's their contribution to this movement. And you can apply here directly and check if your project or initiative is eligible for a sponsorship of your data hosting. So please, and if you have any questions related to this, feel free to ask in the chat, of course, now and after the event. And with that, I would like to give the mic back to Anya.
Thank you, Robert. This was beyond my possible comprehension. Like, my mind was exploding already when we were hearing about the Wikipedia, but all the rest of the solutions I wasn't even aware of. I mean, there is going to be plenty of really, really good discussions. I hope that you really are going to be able to join us for the after party in Discord, along with the new type of Google Maps and all these neurodivergent and possible solutions. It's crazy good to hear that these can be all done with the underlying blockchain technology. It's really cool, guys. So congratulations and thank you so much for these presentations. They have been very informative. With that in mind, I'm going to bring back Gregor Zautzer because right before we sort of wrap it up and do the conclusion for this event, we have a very, very special announcement to make. Gregor, are you with me on the stage?
Yes, Anya, it's quite inspiring to see all this, right?
It's amazing, really. I mean, what the heck are we doing here? And I'm here, you know, studying all the laws and stuff. Look at this. This is amazing.
And you know, it's like today, I know I've seen like other demos. It's not like by far everything was covered today, you know. So there's coming updates to FairDrop, which is support for whistleblowers. There's a slide app called Slides. There's a bunch of new applications in the making. So as Chert also pointed out, there's still a lot missing for the Web3 PC, but we're getting there. And with the great data upload, all these dApps can become like really data rich also, you know, not just live on the blockchain. So yeah, I'm really happy also to see all this. So coming to our announcement, as we discussed at the beginning, it's Swarm has been supporting Fair Data Society, it seems like since forever. And Swarm keeps on doing that. So today we're also announcing that Swarm is committing 2 million BUS tokens to privacy, data interoperability, and data sovereignty. It's a pledge to Fair Data Society for these BUS tokens to be donated over the span of 10 years. It started today. So with the donation of the first 1 million of BUS tokens. To put this into perspective, today it's a good $500,000, but at the all-time high of the BUS token, it was more like, I think, over 10 million. So and spring has arrived today, you know, so hopefully also crypto winter is over. Now these donations, by the way, this is no financial advice, purely also a little bit improvised. So these donations will follow periodically every 2 years. It's kind of a little bit like Bitcoin halving. So in 2 years, there will be a follow-up with 500,000 BUS tokens. After 4 years, 250,000 tokens, and so forth. So yeah, it's an exciting new day. The details of all this will also be communicated in a Swarm blog in the coming days. And with this, yeah, I would congratulate all and thank you all also from the Swarm side. And definitely the future is exciting. So yeah, thank you.
Wow. I mean, this definitely comes with a congratulations, right? This is amazing news. I hope everybody on the call is very happy to hear about the vesting schedule, about the tokens that are going to be provided to you. That's amazing. It's a really great news. Everybody, yet again, there's going to be an after party. Let's talk about how these tokens are going to be spent, how the funds are going to be spread around for the innovation that awaits for us. Apparently, obviously, there's plenty of good projects that can get the funding, that can, you know, get that push towards bringing more innovative solutions to us, the users. Before we go, there's two more things. So one is that there is a special little thing that Fair Data Society has brought for you because it's a new day and it announces the spring. So obviously we're going to be wearing more short sleeves. That being said, there's going to be a very special promo code that you can use for the souvenir swag, which presents a t-shirt. You can go on the new store, which is going to be linked in the comments below the YouTube video. I'm pretty sure it's going to be shared in the Discord as well. The promo code is NEWDAY, all caps, and it's going to be up until tomorrow, 10 a.m. CET. So be sure to use that code today and get your t-shirt claimed. Just before we go and say bye to everyone and see you on the other side, the FDS team has a very special message for you as well. So I'm going to read it through. The idea of a fair digital society is pluralistic. What is happening is that we're just launching an idea. All builders, activists, artists, people of all walks of life that are working towards enabling and living in a fair data society that respect the individual and collective, allows expression and privacy. All these people, organizations, movements are part of fair data society. There is no membership, it's just walking the talk. Thanks to Swarm Foundation, FDS was able to grow in incubation since 2019, when Swarm joined as the first project aligned with FDS principles and vision. Now, FDS is opening another chapter. For this, we propose a few starting points, ethical guidelines expressed as principles. Let us make them real. Let's refine them with wisdom, upgrade or discover new things. Let's build the future we want to live in today. A beautiful message. I hope you'll carry it with you back home or wherever you are. And with that, I just want to say thanks to everyone that joined the call today, all our speakers, all attendees, all the moderators that had made this a wonderful experience and a very successful event. Hopefully your contributions and engagement have made this an enriching and valuable experience for all. So thank you all for joining us on this Tuesday afternoon, and see you on the after party and the FDS Discord. Have a great new day.